So I just rewatched Applebuck season and thought it was pretty meh. In this episode, Applejack begins to harvest the apples from the apple orchard, all by herself because Big Mac was injured in some off-screen event. How tragic. When it becomes clear that the whole ordeal is taking a toll on her, Twilight offers to help Applejack, but she's too stubborn to accept it. Despite not accepting any help herself, though, Applejack still helps out Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy with stuff they're doing throughout the week. Rainbow Dash wants to try a new flying maneuver. Pinkie Pie is running Sugar Cube Corner by herself for the first time. And Fluttershy is counting up the local bunny population. Unfortunately, Applejack manages to ruin everything because of just how tired she is. The main issue I have with this episode is how repetitive it is. Here's the formula for the episode. Twilight tries to offer help for Applejack. We get to see a foreshadowing of how she's going to mess everything up, and then she promptly goes and messes everything up. Twilight scolds Applejack and offers to help her out again, but Applejack just turns her down. We get another foreshadowing for how she's going to mess everything up, and then she goes and messes everything up once again. This happens 3 times throughout the episode, and it gets really annoying after a while. Does no one seriously notice how tired Applejack is? Well, the main 6 do notice how tired Applejack is after she's awarded a trophy for steering away a stampede. But when Applejack is helping them out later in the week, no one seems to notice how tired she still is. Well, they do notice, they just don't do anything about it. Rainbow Dash comments on how Applejack is off her game. Pinkie should have noticed how horribly the cupcake ingredients were turning out. And Fluttershy somehow didn't notice that Applejack was bringing a very loud dog to corral very small animals. Twilight is somehow the only one who notices that Applejack is working herself too hard. I know I'm making this episode sound like it's the worst thing ever, but it really isn't. In fact, there are still quite a few things that I enjoy in this episode. The cows from Canada are both the strangest thing and the most hilarious thing at the same time. And while the stampede of cows was certainly a sight to behold, it doesn't hold a candle to the stampede of bunnies towards the end of the episode. I always get a kick from those overdramatic ponies and Twilight's reaction to them. Still, at the end of the day, this episode didn't age as well as I thought it would. Sure, the episode did have some funny moments, but when characters keep making the same mistake over and over again, and the overall plot is pretty repetitive, it really takes away from the experience as a whole. Unfortunately, this episode does not get the recommendation. Maybe if you're a huge fan of Applejack, you'll find something to enjoy here, but in my opinion, the negatives in this episode outweigh its positives. And that about sums up my thoughts about Applebuck season. Until next time, goodbye.